On this episode of The Locker Room, we're going to dive into Shedeur Sanders starting at quarterback number 4 in OTAs, as well as a Cleveland news writer not doing the research right. And I'm going to call her out with some receipts on this episode of The Locker Room. Let's go. Thanks for tuning in to The Locker Room. I'm your host, your boy Eli, Easy-E. Locker Room is powered by RSTP Network. Now, let's get into something it's been brewing the last week, and I just want to go over it. Okay, so check this out. So, rumor has it that Shedeur's going to start at QB4 rolling into OTAs. Like I said, in previous episodes, we kind of already assumed that Shedeur was going to roll in at QB4, just the way they drafted him and acquired them. So I kind of see it. So you got Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel will take the 1 to 2 reps, as well as, and then Joe Flacco and Shedeur Sanders will take the, I guess, number 3, 4 reps. So I'm not too worried about it. And their OTAs, veterans, everybody, is this week on May 27th through the 29th. So news coming out of Cleveland, that's just how it is. I'm not shocked, but I'm kind of, we'll see. I think they're just doing that for Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel. I don't think Joe Flacco really gives a shit, but I think those two probably give a shit more than that. So I know there's a lot going on with that. It also comes out that the head coach, Kevin Stefanski, didn't make that order. So they said that the GM, what's the GM's name? I don't know. Who gives a shit? The brother. The GM's name is the one that set that quarterback room up or I guess the quarterback order for this coming OTAs. Me personally, that is wild for having your GM set the QB room on who takes the reps. That's why I believe that's a failed organization, and I understand that people says that the GM in Philly, which honestly is probably the best GM out there because he just hits on draft picks, does it, but they got Jalen Hurts, so, we know Jalen and then whoever else comes next. Totally understand that, but this right here, and I'm going to show you a video of ESPN Cleveland and Rez's beef, just like my beef, and probably everybody's beef about this situation.
Does a real nice job with the quarterback, which brings me to my beef today. Beef. I think it's total garbage that the Browns let their GM decide who the quarterback is on the field. I think that is full of crap. I brought it up with Tony last night, and he goes, well, that's what Howie Roseman does in Philadelphia, and Andrew Berry idolizes Howie Roseman. Guess what? Philadelphia has Jalen Hurts, who's been to 2 Super Bowls and won 1. We don't have anyone like that. Let the coaches coach. Let the coaches decide who the best players. The coaches talk to the players. The coaches they have the vibe of the locker room. You can't fool an NFL locker room. Let me tell you something where there's going to be problems this year. If they pick a quarterback and the locker room wants another one, the odds that Andrew Berry and his track record of quarterbacks is going to pick the right one out of these 4, I'm not confident in that. It's garbage that Stefanski cannot make that decision. And I know Kevin goes along with it. He's a good teammate. And
he stated, it doesn't. The locker room is going to pick who they want to pick, and the coach has to feel that vibe. No way in hell your GM is going to, or should even be close to, even trying to pick who's going to take the reps. or pick like that. That makes no sense. I've never heard that. Even with Philly, I've never heard it. This is the first time I've ever heard of it. It's unbelievable. And that's kind of how it's just kind of why they're kind of a failure. They're has been a failure franchise because coaches coach, GMs scout and look for players, and players play. Don't fuck up that order. Don't fuck that up, man. And now for Shador, he's doing what he needs to do. He's practicing, learning the playbook, and again, he's going to elevate your locker room. That's just plain and simple. He elevates everywhere he goes. He has that aura. And news coming out of Cleveland is he's winning over the locker room because they can relate to him. Honestly, I don't believe they can relate to the quarterbacks they have in there currently. I don't believe whatsoever. Or that young swag, and it's not even about the swag. He works hard, and I'm not saying that I know that he does it by all that stuff, but he does. Like every interview, everything he does, everybody comes out. Every player he's played with, Shador's one of the hardest workers on the team. He knows how to lead. He's just that guy. So the whole OTAs quarterback order, at the end of the day, Shador's just going to have to play when he gets his reps, make them reps count. You know what I mean? Keep it going to the classroom, study, make every mental rep, everything he has to do. So he's prepared when he's on the field. And I believe he can do it. There's no way in hell that I think anything else. So that's all. And then there's still more coming out from this whole situation on OTAs and the order of quarterbacks. And again, on ESPN Cleveland with my man Riz, he has Tony Gossi, the dude that's literally just can't stand Shador. He comes on and they interviewed him about it. And this is kind of what the old grump, Tony Grossi, the good old boy, says.
Tony, what did you make of this 1, 2, 3, 4 scenario that was put out on Cleveland.com? That it'll be Pickett and Gabriel and then Flacco and Sanders.
Is that an opinion, or is that attributed to a source who wasn't authorized to speak without anonymity?
If indeed that's how it goes, how would you feel about that?
It makes no sense to me. Yeah, my point is, yeah, you should pair it up. Two guys are battling for the starting job, and two guys are battling for what's left. And that's the way it should be paired up.
So that's how it's paired off. He says that he wants two people battling for the starting position and two battling for the backup or whatever the rest. Honestly, newsflash for the dude that's literally in Cleveland, dog, they don't know who's going to start. It's an open competition. They're not going to automatically say that Shador Sanders is second string, third string. That's just no way. Because I guarantee deep down inside, now that they drafted him, I feel like they want him to succeed. And at the end of the day, Deshaun Watson, sorry, they're going to wait till they're going to put you on the PUP. They're going to wait till your money drop off and you're up out of there. I know you want to trade, but nobody's going to trade for Deshaun Watson's contract unless you restructure and figure it out. But you don't, because you're going to need the money, because you're going to be league minimum. No one's going to do that. And no way in hell I think Cleveland is able to take that dead money hit like we did out here in Denver for Russell Wilson. Plus, Deshaun Watson is making entirely too much motherfucking money to even take a dead cap hit. But I guess it really doesn't matter because he ain't going to play anyway this year. So, but that's beside the point. So now, moving on to Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of Cleveland Browns. He was on the radio, ESPN Cleveland again, and he was talking about Shador and how the Browns, how they're going to split up reps. And this is his way of, or this is what he said was going to happen. We won't know until minicamp or to OTA start. And again, he has to find amplitude reps for all four of his quarterbacks. I don't care if Joe Flacco's old or Kenny Pickett. They all have to. They got to figure out who's their quarterback. And at the end of the day, like I said before, there's going to be a Kenny Pickett trade, possibly, I believe. They're not going to trade none of the rookies, and no one's going to trade for Joe Flacco. Kenny Pickett's Kenny Pickett's the only player that has some worth in a trade. So this is Kevin Stefanski on the order of reps.
Really all for competing for the potential to be the starting quarterback on September 7th
because
against Cincinnati?
The perception, coach, is that it would take a lot for a rookie to come in and beat out Joe Flacco or even Kenny, who have played in NFL games.
If you're on our roster, you're competing for a role. And the guys have heard that from me, and it's the truth. We don't have to set the roster till late August. We don't have to set a depth chart. We have to get the football team ready to play, certainly. But you're competing for a role in what you do. So I would hope every player on our team, quarterback or otherwise, is competing for a role.
Is Pickett first up?
We'll see.
And that's what I'm saying. He's right about that, and the amplitude. He's 100% correct, though. So, Cleveland fans, if you're watching this, and when you watch this, you just got to understand that it's going to be a process. And I'm not going to hate on the coach and the GM, Andrew Berry, for picking the rotations or whatever. The cream's going to rise to the top. And what I believe is Shador's going to rise to the top. You know what I mean? Just be in that locker room and do his thing and, study and play his ass off. And when he comes to practice, show it on the field. Like we said, cream's going to rise to the top, and this go back and forth. Does the media in Cleveland, some of the media hates Shador in Cleveland? Yeah, because I don't know what type of quarterback they want or they want, but at the end of the day, they can't be picky at this point. So if you don't like his throwing up his wrist or anything like that, Cleveland fans, you can't be picky. You ain't have a quarterback since Bernie Kosar. Or is it Testaverde? Kosar, one of those two. So that's what I'm saying. So don't beggars can't be choosers, all right? Just let them fight it out. And if Shador ends up the quarterback, embrace it. And come on now. And I guarantee if he makes us start winning games, y'all be okay with that. So let's just get that right there. So again, news coming out of Cleveland is that Shador is getting embraced by the vets, and everybody likes to see it, and everybody knows he's working hard and he's doing his thing. And it's not because it's Pops, y'all. It's just he just has that. People are just drawn to him. You know what I mean? So yeah. Now here's an interview still. ESPN Cleveland. And coach talking about the same thing.
Competing for the potential to be the starting quarterback on September 7th
because
against Cincinnati.
The perception, coach, is that it would take a lot for a rookie to come in and beat out Joe Flacco or even Kenny, who have played in NFL games.
If you're on our roster, you're competing for a role. And the guys have heard that from me, and it's the truth. We don't have to set the roster till late August. We don't have to set a depth chart. We have to get the football team ready to play, certainly. But you're competing for a role in what you do. So I would hope every player on our team, quarterback or otherwise, is competing for a role.
Is Pickett first up?
We'll see.
So yeah, he has that swag, that embrace. People embrace and kind of attract to him. So Cleveland fans, just embrace the young fella, embrace all the quarterbacks, because it's going to be a competition. So before we move on to the whole what the media in Cleveland are doing to my man Shador and slandering his name on slander his name with everything, I want y'all to go to some of the old vets and so y'all can really see what people are really talking about. Like the old Cleveland, this is Bernie Kosar right here. He, they asked him, he was on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, which I love that show. Shout out to him. They really talk real real situations, and they really get, they're not biased, but they they put something, they're real about it. They're not faking it just to get clicks and stuff. So I want y'all to check out Bernie Kosar, the last quarterback that Cleveland had. Check him out, what he says and how he feels about Shador.
Cam and Shador in college, how they already have that confidence and ability, pocket presence to hang this close to a defensive tackle, Tyvis, and not be affected, keep your feet calm, and execute a throw. So I loved watching that coming in. I was super surprised he fell that far like he did. So I'm like just any fan, I'm looking forward to seeing him play, truthfully. Yeah.
See, now, Cleveland fans, why can't y'all be more supportive like that? People see it. We all see it. He's just... It is. That's just what it is. So I'm showing you these videos for the receipts of what quarterbacks are saying. Old veteran quarterbacks, old quarterbacks are saying, and I'm not just biased about it, and I think Shador is going to be that type of dude. He's gonna raise that level of that franchise. But from what all the haters and everybody's been saying, I want you to understand what quarterbacks that play the position see is Shador. So this is Drew Bledsoe on the Colin Cowherd show, just talking about it. Just like Colin Cowherd, I like the dude, but at the end of the day, I don't see that he don't have talent. That's his talent right there. And I keep on spewing and telling everybody his talent it's all up here. He has a good enough arm for the NFL. His a way to throw people open, to make the right read, to understand football. That's something that is, and Drew Bledsoe said it. He sees people with big arms and good traits that can't do what Shador can, that are unsuccessful. So everybody that says that, he don't have no, man, get the fuck out of here with that and just understand. That's just what it is. That's a trait that you probably need more in quarterbacks than anything. There's a lot of quarterbacks that were successful in this league that didn't have a fucking Drew Bledsoe arm or Brett Favre's arm or John Elway's arm. You know what I mean? And y'all don't understand that because it's more about, this is what this person said about him during his draft. Do your own research. And we're going to get to research that people don't do and don't understand here in a minute. But do your own research. Look at it. Watch him play. You'll see the elite traits there. So I don't want to hear nothing about he's not elite in this. What are you not elite in? I'd rather him be elite up here than elite arm or than a elite speed. No. I want him to be elite in the pocket. I want him to be elite in throwing people open and reading defenses because that what wins games. It's chess, not checkers, fellas, and y'all need to understand that. Before we jump in to what the media has been slandering Shador's name, I want y'all to see this is how he's raised, man. And everybody always slanders is just slandered and talks so much shit about Shador and Shiloh and the Sanders family, and all he cares is about himself and Ari. And this is from DMVR. And hey, these boys are here, they're doing their thing. But I want y'all to see, this is Shador at the Super Bowl. This is what he does, man. And Shiloh stated that he did the same thing. And I want y'all to understand, these are what the type of men these guys are. You know what I mean? They literally shake everybody's hand. Shiloh did the same thing when he was in Tampa Bay for his first interview. See, these are the type of dudes that you're getting. This is the type of dude that you guys are getting. And I don't think you guys understand that, Cleveland fans. Don't let that shit go to your head and understand. Because now, y'all don't let Shador get away like y'all let Baker get away. You get what I'm saying? So don't do that. Also, my next topic, and I really want to go into this, and I'm about to. The media in Cleveland is, I think it's a beat reporter, just lied. I don't understand, like, if you're a beat reporter, you do your research on what you're talking about. Because everything I tell you on this show, on all my other shows, I'll tell you, hey, this is how I feel. I'm not exactly sure. Or here's the receipts. But this lady must not did her homework. Here we go. She didn't do her homework whatsoever. She needs to understand before she opens up her mouth, before she says something. Her name is Mary Kay. What is it, Gablin? I don't even like this. She just don't understand. I'm not saying just because she's a woman, she just don't understand what's going on. And she needs to really research, bring out her receipts with what she says. Because here, I can bring out all my receipts of what I say and where I found it at and where I heard it at or where I see it at. I can pull it up. This woman right here, she's saying things that she's just talking at this point, and it's slandering Shador, or she don't know this, and I'm gonna combat that here after we listen.
But then you've got two rookies who have also played a lot of ball. I mean, you've got Dylan Gabriel, who is very smooth and efficient, and I thought he was that way with the pre-snap stuff, even in rookie camp. He just had an unbelievable command of that kind of stuff. So I think that's going to be important, and we're going to have to see, can Shador handle all of that stuff while learning a whole new scheme? These other guys have all had to pick up new terminology and new schemes very, very quickly. They've had to adapt and pivot to different.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. She said Shador has to pick up a new scheme very, very quickly. One point. Stefanski runs the same type of offense as Pat Shurmur. Where did Pat Shurmur play college at, ladies and gentlemen? Or coach college at right now? University of Colorado. Who was the quarterback at University of Colorado last year? Shador Sanders. So Stefanski is off of Pat Shurmur's coaching tree. This lady don't know what she's talking about. Again, what else? She said that Shador has been in the office for so long. I'm going to tell you this now. Shador had ever since high school, he had a different offensive coordinator from then until last year. People don't realize Pat Shurmur was on the staff 2 years ago, but wasn't the offensive coordinator until almost the season over because they took the play call duty from Lewis, the old offense coordinator, now at San Diego. So again, Pat Shurmur or Kevin Stefanski is from Pat Shurmur's coaching tree. They run the same offense, and guess what? Shador ran a simpler, I guess you want to say, or more of a college type of offense that Kevin Stefanski runs in the NFL. She has not done her research. She is talking that bull jive, and this is what we get from people like this that don't really realize what's going on, and they're just talking out their ass. Now let's let her finish. I said Shador Sanders had him for 1 year, and the previous year, the first year in Colorado, it was Lewis. I always forget his first name. So she's wrong right there. She needs to get her shit together. His dad was his head coach. He had Dion don't call offensive plays. It is Dion hires the offense coordinator, and the offense coordinator calls plays. So she don't know what she's talking about again. Again, he had 7 different coordinators from freshman year of high school all the way up to the senior year. He had multiple, and y'all can fact check me on that, multiple offensive coordinator. Again, he probably already knows more of Stefanski's offensive system. Why? Because Pat Shurmur, again, Stefanski is from a Pat Shurmur coaching tree. So this lady don't know what the fuck she's talking about, and that's just what it is. And she just tried to slander and give an excuse why she likes Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett over Shador Sanders. Don't sound too. It's just her favorite person or her favorite quarterbacks, and I know for a fact she just don't like Shador Sanders. So that right there, another receipt. And for y'all that know, that follow CU, that know, Pat Shurmur runs the same offense as Kevin Stefanski, but just mild down just a little bit so the college kids can get used to it. But it's the same routes, the same calls. My God, this lady.
Old dog learning new tricks for the first time, whereas all of the other guys are very used to change. Take Dylan Gabriel alone. He's probably had
So again, favoritism to
different coordinators
Dylan
in his
Gabriel.
college
And the
career.
funny thing is, she hasn't done
He's done
shit or research or
different.
anything about
And
Shador,
so
because if
I
she
think he
knew
just has that ability to
or she
pivot and
listened,
adapt.
I don't know how you
He can
cannot
do that.
listen, because
And we know that Joe can do
a
that.
camera
So these
or
are
some type of news will get out on the Sanders family. If she hasn't heard it by now, she's just not paying attention, because everybody knows that Shador had multiple offense coordinators and has played in a bunch of different schemes. So, and had a lot of change before. What she's trying to say is, just because he transferred so many times, he had to pivot most of the time. Again, Mary Kay, I'm gonna let you know. Do your research. You're a journalist. You're a beat writer. Whatever the fuck you're doing. Understand this, dude. Before you say something about somebody, please check your receipts, because your receipts, your math is not mathing to nobody in this area, especially when you come talking about Shador. You not. I know that, and I'm not a beat reporter. I just do content because I love to do it. But you know, Miss Mary Kay, whatever your last name is, Gabbett, whatever the hell your name is, do your research. You're talking out your ass right now. And that's what you're doing right now. So, come on now. And I know you heard it. I know Twitter's buzzing on it for you saying that. So again, this lady don't know him. And again, ladies and gentlemen, there's another media member that is literally just sitting there. Not like, it's obvious that she don't like Shador, and she describes him as a man that hadn't played 4 years in college. He didn't realize who was his offensive coordinator and where his head coach's tree is. She don't have no idea. I don't understand these people. And I want everybody to know, don't say shit until you can back it up. Don't say something. Stop leaving rumors on these people, or just not just Shador, Sanders, and the Sanders family, but just everybody. You know, I sit here and I call this show The Locker Room, because this is the in-depth of the locker room, what people are saying in the locker room. This is the talk that we get if you play sports, that locker room talk, and y'all should understand. And that's the reason why some people hate the media, because y'all just saying shit just to say it. Let's just be all honest. As a former football player and baseball player that's been in locker rooms, that, we shoot the shit that y'all don't know. Half the time y'all don't know what you're talking about. You're just speculating. And what I said to you about Pat Shurmur, Kevin Stefanski is from a Pat Shurmur tree and runs a similar offense, I'm not lying to you. You can ask anybody. And if you have a problem, and if you can combat me and debate me about it, leave a comment right there and talk that shit, because I know what it is. Kevin Stefanski is from a Pat Shurmur tree. He was Pat Shurmur's quarterback coach and offensive coordinator up in Minnesota. And then, come on now. So Kevin Stefanski runs a similar offense in that Pat Shurmur ran last year in Colorado. So Mary Kay, understand that. You probably didn't know that because you didn't do no research. You're just favoring Dylan Gabriel and Katie Pickett because you want them to win. You don't want to see Shador. You don't want to see that dude. Is it race? I don't know. But it feels like it when it comes to Cleveland fans. I'm just being honest with y'all. Because that right there, you didn't do your research. You just said what you got to say, just to say it. So with that, I'm just saying, do your research, fellas. Us, and I know a lot of content creators and people that follow the Sanders family, they know certain things, like they in depth, and there's a lot of content on the Sanders family and Shador and stuff. And if she did her research right, she would have known that Pat Shurmur and Kevin Stefanski run a similar offense. You feel what I'm saying? But that's beside the point. And the last thing I want to get into before I get out of here, I want y'all to talk. I want to show you this video about your boy Jackson Dart. And there's people on the wild internet that says that this is a shot towards Shador Sanders.
Yeah, you better be prepared going into a Dable meeting because it's intense, and he definitely wants to get the most out of you. I would say if you're not prepared, don't step into the meeting because you're going to get grilled. But I felt like I was really prepared for it, and I was ready for it. So they threw all that they could at me, and I was able to handle it the best way that I could. And I think that just shows how intentional and how dedicated that coaching staff is to this.
So I don't see it. I don't see it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see the whole he's taking a shot at Shador. I don't think he's taking a shot. I think the Giants took that shot, and I just feel like they felt comfortable. They have more ties to Jackson Dart. And I'm going to say this. No way in hell Shador should have dropped to 5th round. He should have even got out the 1st round. So we're so far away from it. Who gives a shit anyway? So, and that's what I'm going to say. We'll see what happens at OTAs, and I'm bringing some more content on the OTAs in Cleveland, and let's just see how it works. And there's going to be a lot of shit coming out of Cleveland on how Shador's doing, and again, they do track the reps and the completions and interceptions and all that. So they're going to track that. They're going to get these quarterbacks right. And again, like I said, the cream's going to rise to the top. And for those who are Shador fans, and not just fan Shador people, I guess you got to be a Shador fan because, I don't know, I want to say this. My brother Shador is going to rise to the top. And I feel like he's going to be starting quarterback sometime soon. More sooner than later. From the quarterback coach and more people are tied. Now, I'm not saying that Shador's going to get the job because of that, but I'm just saying he knows that offense. Again, that lady Mary Kay, she ain't shit. I don't think Jackson Dart is taking a shot. I just think he's just describing how, and if everybody see it, the Giants do grill quarterbacks. Do I think that Shador fucked it up or messed up and wasn't ready? No, I don't think so. I just think he didn't catch the mistake, or maybe whatever it may be. I think it was planned to fail. I don't know why they get mad if you put mistakes in there and you wanted the quarterbacks to fail. I guess that it is. Again, this is the locker room where we deep dive and talk about what goes on in the locker rooms of all sports, all the time. Make sure you drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for tuning into the Locker Room Talk with me, your boy Easy E. Stay in the conversation by subscribing to the channel. Tap in, hit that like button, drop the comment. To the next time, I catch y'all next time. Again, peace.